And new overnight, Metro Police are investigating after a man was shot to death in Fern Creek. Officers responded to Overbrook Woods Place just before midnight, finding 3 men with gunshot wounds. One died at the scene. The other 2 were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. If you know anything about the shooting, call the anonymous tip line at 574-LMPD.
The trial of Louisville Metro Councilman Anthony Piagentini will continue today.
His future on the council is in the hands of his colleagues as they decide whether or not to remove him for ethics violations. So to break all of this down, Jim Stratman here joining us in the studio. Jim, the council has already now heard opening statements from both sides.
Yeah, and actually in a shocking move following one of those opening statements, we saw Piagentini's lawyer enter a motion for consideration last night. That means that he wanted the council to go back and vote before we even got to the very first witness. Now that motion was denied by Chair Marcus Winkler, who appeared on Zoom actually because he was sick with the flu. Now remember, this whole trial centers around whether or not the council will remove Piagentini for 6 ethics violations he was found guilty of last October. Those charges stem from a $40 million allocation of American Rescue Plan funds that went to the Healthcare Works Innovation Coalition. That company, or the company that oversees that coalition, hired Piagentini as a consultant the day after that vote to approve the funds went through. Yesterday, the defense told the council Piagentini really just wants to move forward from these allegations, but the prosecution asked the council not to focus on their friend here, but what their friend did that brought him to this point.
It's time he be allowed to wake up, to realize that it is tomorrow, and to move forward with the rest of his life, just like everybody else.
Even our friends mess up sometimes. You can say to them that I still love you, you're still my friend, but I sure wish you hadn't done what you did.
Now, it has been a 4-month process to get to this point. On October 19th, the Metro Ethics Commission found Piagentini guilty of 6 out of the 7 counts against him. Metro Council then formed a charging committee on November 1st. Then the committee filed formal removal charges back on November 28th. Now the trial will reconvene a little bit later on this afternoon with more witness testimony. Yesterday we were able to hear from the very first witness, a former executive director of the Louisville Accelerator team. I'll have more from her time on the stand coming up in the next half hour. Grace, Eric?
All right, Jim, thank you. We now know a Campbellsville University student died by strangulation. 18-year-old Josiah Killman was found dead in his dorm room Saturday. Later that evening, police arrested 21-year-old Charles Escalera. Escalera was also a student at the university and was Killman's teammate on the school's wrestling team. Escalera has been charged with murder and is in jail on a $2 million bond. Now, he's also charged with burglary. That's because police say he broke into somebody's house in Greene County, Kentucky, while on the run from police. Campbellsville University's president, Dr. Joe Hopkins, called the situation unsettling.
This shakes us that this could happen even in this beautiful place of quiet and beauty. But it does remind us that we must always be on guard, and I'm thankful for those who stand in that place of protection every day.
Campbellsville resumed classes yesterday, and police have not released the motive in the case.
A person of interest in a Louisville homicide is now in custody in Florida after crashing the victim's car in Miami. Metro Police say they found 45-year-old Elaine Garcia Perez dead in his home on Inverness Avenue in the Iroquois neighborhood on Sunday. Investigators say he had injuries from blunt force trauma. Then on Monday, police in Miami spotted Perez's missing red Camaro and tried to stop the driver who sped off. The chase ended when the driver lost control, hit multiple cars, and flipped the vehicle. That driver, who has not been publicly identified, was airlifted to the hospital. LMPD says the driver is a person of interest in the original homicide. Our ABC affiliate in Miami reports he'll be extradited to Kentucky once released from the hospital.
Celebrity chef Darnell Super Chef Ferguson is out on bond this morning. He posted his $10,000 bond yesterday after his court appearance. He pleaded not guilty to his charges, which include burglary, strangulation, and assault. The judge ordered that he have no contact with any witness in the case, not even through a third party. He's accused of assaulting his estranged wife in early January at her apartment. His next court appearance is set for April 29th. The woman charged with multiple violent home invasions ranging from November 2023 through January of this year is now behind bars on a $250,000 bond. Jamara Querton faced the judge yesterday, or Curitin rather. She's accused of breaking into the home of an 82-year-old woman and violently assaulting her. The LMPD says she confessed to that incident along with 2 other home invasions in Valley Station. She's expected back in court next month.
There's some relief for Riverlink customers this morning. The toll agency says right now it is not enforcing car registration holds for people with outstanding bills. Concerns have grown as some people are in the midst of disputing bills they feel are incorrect. Riverlink says since it switched service providers, registration holds have not been implemented. But drivers tell us that's news to them, saying they weren't made aware of the change on their invoices or online.
Are there holds coming in a week, a month, a year? Like, or they're not even going to be a thing? It's pretty shocking that they could just be so loosey-goosey with something so critical to people who might have to commute for work.
As of now, Riverlink says there is no date set to begin sending holds to the county clerks. Riverlink's website FAQ page does not reflect the policy change and still says customers who don't pay tolls could face registration holds.
All right.